Flappers seems very like old-timey, professional, like strange.
Very corporate.
Yes, corporate. Where at like the improv or especially the Comedy Store, it's more like ragtag, like inmates running the asylum kind of style.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I prefer that much more because when I worked there, like it was kind of like felt almost like sterile.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Like a hospital room.
And that's not, and like, you know, having, and at first I thought that's what it was because I was like working there a little bit and I was like, oh, this is my introduction to LA comedy. And then I went to other clubs and I was like, oh, it's supposed to be more like a
relaxed
environment.
I get the same feeling standing in a room at Flappers that I do if I go into like a Target. It's like, it's exactly the same.
Yes.
You know?
Sterile white walls.
Yeah.
Just horrible.
Oh, also, we did the audition mic there one time, and not gonna name names, but this fucking robot that hosted it, like made
he was a lizard.
Yeah, he was a machine, and he like made a bunch of people stick around, being like, hey, you know, let's talk, let's get you up, like maybe we can get you some spots here, and then.
We waited like an hour and a half.
After an hour and a half wait, he finally got around to us, and all he tried to do was sell us stand-up classes.
Yep.
He was like, I have this great. It's a 5.
I know who you're talking about.
It's a 5-day course.
Listen,
it's an online course, and then there's some in-person classes. It's only $1 billion. It was, I think it was like $200.
It was more. It was like $500.
Yeah, so crazy amount of money, and
Stupid.
then he was like, he wrote down his information. He goes, hey, take this number. We'll give you 50% off. And I was just like,
oh, sick.
Tight. Thanks. I could have been home relaxing now, but thank God. Thank God I stuck around for your stand-up classes, dick.
Now that I remember, I did actually get paid for my little internship. They did give us a free stand-up class.
Oh, okay.
What'd you learn in a stand-up class?
That I'm funnier than everyone there. Like that's okay. That's gonna sound bad, but like
No,
it really was that. And I remember this is how I knew the class was bullshit. Because we got there and they're like, all right, we're going to think about where we want to be in 5 years. Now, who here wants to be famous? Everybody but me raised their hand.
Good.
And she was like, why don't you want to be famous? And I was like, well, I'd rather have a good body of work first than to be famous. And she goes, that's not the point. Blah, blah, blah. And she tried to correct me. And I was like, this doesn't.
You should have just walked out.
This doesn't. Yeah. Well,
You want to learn? You want to learn stand-up? Go to an open mic and bomb. That's how you'll learn stand-up.
Yeah.
And keep going back. You have to keep going back. And trust me, you'll learn. It's the hard way, but...
Yeah.
It's like we were talking with... We were talking with a lot of the Emerson group of kids, and they were talking about like paying like comedy college classes, these courses.
Yeah, like college level courses.
Yes.
That they take to, and it's like you could pay $5 a couple times a week and do it for basically free.
A lot cheaper and a lot quicker.
I don't trust it.
No.
I don't trust it one bit.
Also, anyone that's teaching stand-up, it's like you're probably not that funny.
Because it's so subjective. That's the thing.
It's
like
the
that's why it's
most
difficult.
subjective.
Yeah.
It's the single most subjective, and they always say those who can't teach.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, and that was something that always bugged me when I was in college for musical theater. They were like, oh yeah, your professors are still working in the industry, but they're working as like directors or, you know, private tutors, or they're working as, you know, other things on set. They're not working as actors anymore. So they don't have that knowledge of what it's like to be an actor now, my age, in this industry today. And it's like, I wonder what qualifies them to teach these classes, and that all the Emerson people are going to hate this. What qualifies them to teach the classes?
They're going to agree. They're gonna agree.
They probably agree.
And then how do I know that you get what you're saying? How do I know you're still active in this industry in one way or another?
If it's even relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're an adult. You're teaching me some old stuff. It's like you don't even know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I had a lot of professors like that in college who were like, this is how it worked for me and this will work for you. And I'm like, it's not 1982.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I had a history professor in college one time. Just quick story. The big map that he had on the side of his wall still had the USSR as like a country. And I was just like,
Maybe you should.
maybe up to, like things have changed since the last time you learned history. Dude. I just thought that was funny.
I went to school at Ithaca for film, specifically for writing, and I had a professor tell me this. Now, this was when I was in my spring semester of my senior year in my thesis class, and he told me, he goes, and we're talking about like jobs, and he goes, you know, you can work at Starbucks and still be a writer. And I was like, fuck, man.
Doesn't sound very.
Fuck.
Not what I had in mind.
Fuck.
You can only learn by doing,
Yeah.
and especially with stand up. But I was like that in school too. I was like, this teacher's telling me about something, and I'm like, I'm a hands-on learner. I need to do the thing, and trust me, I'll catch up. I will learn the lessons and stuff. And then as far as like teaching how to do stand-up, there's really not much to do. It's like, I can't tell you if it was funny or not. The crowd did that.
Yeah, exactly.
We came up with like a short list of like things, like do's and do nots. But even those technically don't apply because everyone's different. But it's just like simple shit, like don't run the light.
Yeah.
You can teach that. That's
Yeah.
teachable. You see that light, get off the fucking stage. You know, hold the mic at the right distance.
Yeah, you can teach like everything around stand up
Yeah.
except for like how to write a joke.
Yeah.
That's just on you.
Yeah. I think about, because you look at the people who came out of Emerson and they're all very funny and they all obviously gained a lot of skill from there. But then I think about people like Alan Zach, who I love. Alan Zach is a polarizing person because for every person who thinks he isn't funny, there's a person who thinks he is the funniest thing that's ever lived, and he's the first one who's going to make it out of all of us. How do you put someone like him through a comedy program where he's going to have 8 different comedy professors who are all going to have a vastly different opinion of him? How is he going to leave a program like that?
You take him. I've been messaging back and forth with him this past couple weeks, and you put him in a class. Every professor would say, "Don't do that. What are you doing?"
Yeah,
that's
but
crazy. That's
everything
crazy.
you would be telling him not to do are all the things that are getting him laughs and the things that people love the most about him.
Exactly. You can't be told what to do. You just have to do what you do, and then be conscious about it enough to make it like come across, like sell. Like, you know what I mean?
Don't I just realize, like, it's probably would be in Alan Zach's case. Anyone that has ever said you have to learn the rules to break the rules are just mad that you broke the rules in the first place. Those stupid fucking arbitrary rules. Alan Zach never abided by those, and he does not have to.
Nope.
Does not have to.
Dude, Sean Zapp at the Comedy Store roast battle broke the rules.
Broke the
Yeah.
rules.
And it crushed.
And he won.
It crushed.
Time's an illusion. Comedy rules are an illusion. Who gives a fuck?
We were there last night. Denzel Curry, who was on the judging panel for Sean's, was there again last night.
Nice.
Sees Mason in the green room and goes, "Where's Sean?" Mason's on the phone. He's like, "I'm on the phone with Sean. I'm trying to get him here." And Denzel's like, "Give me the phone." And so Denzel Curry takes the phone out of Mason's hands and is on the phone with Sean, trying to get him to the Comedy Store. Like,
brilliant.
this guy was so impressed by Sean's set.
Yep.
And was so like remembered him so much that he's like, "I want him to come here
Yep.
right now."
Yeah, it speaks for itself.
He
but
almost paid for his Uber.
Not everybody can break the rules, though.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Like
I can't.
I truly believe if I went up and tried breaking the rules, it wouldn't come across the same.
I can never break the. Every time I try to break the rules, people go, "Why are you breaking the rules?"
Yeah.
And it's like, because they broke the rules and you said nothing.
No, it's like, no, that was them.
Do you know what it is, though? It's literal confidence.
Yes.
I admire so much how Sean carries himself in the comedy community because he's doing something so different, so
Yep.
alternative. I talked to him about it, and he's like, I'm trying to be... So Sean and I, we're like both bipolar, and we talk about it sometimes. And he
You
sa-
and Sean, really?
Me too.
Yeah. Gang.
Gang,
Gang,
bitch.
But he says that he's trying to be like mania personified, and he carries that with him off stage. He's just so confident. Like,
Yeah.
there's no denying how cool John Sapp is whenever he walks into a room because he just fucking owns it. So I think that's what really does it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna break the rules, then you got to break them and not be afraid to do it because then nobody can tell you otherwise. And
Yeah.
that's what he does, and that's why he does it great. Same with Alan Zach.
Yeah.
He does not give a flying fuck. He just does exactly what he wants to do,
And it
that's
works.
why-
And it works.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else who could really have gone up at roast battle and just blatantly cheat. He cheated, by the way. And
Yeah.
he admitted that on the pod.
There are 2 rules at roast battle: 3 jokes each.
Yep.
Don't run over your time.
Yep.
And right off the bat, he was like,
Just
10 jokes.
rapid fire, and then props, and then just a complete disruption.
It's a complete power move
Yeah.
to be able to do that. He said, fuck it. Because also, when you're on stage, sometimes I think you forget, like, you do have the power. You have the microphone. People are quite literally looking up at you. And he seized that moment. He took advantage of it. I loved it.
No, it was fucking brilliant.